The trans part of being transgender is transitioning your expression and your gender performance, not your identity. People are fighting hard in this country to erase us as citizens, erase us as humans in our society. We're just like you. We're humans, just like every other human in our society. We're Americans, just like every other American in our society. We have rights. We vote. We have joy. We have pain. We have every emotion every other American citizen has. We are you. I was born and raised in the Mojave Desert part of California, where my parents and siblings still reside. My mother was a school bus driver, a school administrator, and fervent volunteer for all her children's sports teams and organizations. And hold that stop. Hello.
Hello, they just took your dad back to test him for COVID, RSV, and flu.
Okay, they tell you anything when you walked in?
No. They just took him in and took his vitals and stuff. His blood pressure's pretty low. And like 85 over 64 or something. So he's expecting them to even hold him, to keep him.
Mm-hmm.
He's wondering if they're going to do that. We'll see.
Okay.
But we're waiting for the test results.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm okay. So, just waiting to hear. So, ay.
Did you bring anyone else with you, or just you?
Just me.
Okay.
Just Auntie Raina said you should have called me. I'd have gone with you, but it was too hard getting your dad out the door because he wanted to take a nap, and then we got him out of that, and then took forever to get dressed. I had to help him get dressed. And so I just wanted to get him out the door and get going. But Mark had to go get prescription from Costco. He didn't go to work yesterday or today either. Okay.
All right,
Okay.
bye. Okay, Mom's calling. Dad is not feeling well, as opposed to his knee and other things going. I was just about to talk about Dad right there. He suffers from Agent Orange effects. God, the neighbors are loud. But right now, he went to the doctor a couple days ago and got diagnosed with an upper respiratory something going on there where he got the bronchitis, and it starts to seeping into pneumonia. So Mom took him up over the hill in California, down Cone Pass into Loma Linda Hospital. But I'm very fortunate. I have family who can call me and talk about what's going on in the family. And I can call my family and tell them what's going on in my life. That's not always the case for everyone who's transgender. I love my transition. My transition has some amazing moments in it, and most of those is because I have a good support system around me and had. My mother, who is just on the phone right there calling me, she has been supporting me since day one. Literally, after January 7th, as you know in my story, I discovered my gender identity. But I didn't discover it just as fully. This is how I imagined Brandi. I just holy shit, this is why nothing masculine really felt right on me. And I just thought I wasn't doing masculine right. I thought I wasn't doing boy right. I thought I wasn't doing man right. I thought I wasn't doing husband right. All these roles I was supposed to play that society told me to do. I just felt like I just wasn't good at any of them. I just sucked at them. And then I had this epiphany of, holy shit, I'm just trying to do roles in a box that it's not me. I don't belong in that box. And That took a little process to kind of figure out what is me and start to tap in. And instead of trying to look to the outside world to say how I should present myself, I started looking inward to myself. How do I present myself? How do I want to see myself in a mirror? That was my driving goal. From that point, I was like, holy shit, that mirror rocked my world in that little boutique in Tampa. First time I ever tried on feminine clothing. First time I ever put on a dress. It rocked my world. I was stunned. So I wanted to explore that. How do I feel inside? What happens if I put other different feminine items on me? If I present myself feminine in our society, how does that reflect on me? It felt amazing. And so I, at first, wasn't sure what was going on. I just knew it felt amazing to start expressing more and more feminine. But when I realized it wasn't sexual, it was gender, it was my identity, and I need to express it. It became a need more than a want when I finally tapped in and discovered and found myself. I wanted to see that femininity in mirrors. I wanted to see it in the mirror on the wall. I wanted to see it in the social mirror around me. And that was my driving moment. I didn't want to please other people. I didn't want to piss off society. I didn't want to please society. I didn't want to do anything outside of, I wanted to see what was inside me. I wanted to pull out that inner person who I had stifled and not looked to my entire life. Now I'm looking to my inner self. And it's an awesome person. I want to express that. I want to share that with you as well. I'm awesome on the inside. I want to express that on the outside. I'm awesomely feminine. I'm an awesome trans woman. It makes me sad knowing that there are so many awesome people out there who can't express their awesomeness because they don't have a support structure around them, or they have people around them who are working against them expressing their awesomeness. And that makes me sad. And I feel very fortunate to have a family structure that supports me, friend structures that support me. You all support me. Thank you. We need society to support our trans individuals. To lift up the trans community, we must support the individuals. And that takes allies. Social movement of the transgender movement, as the opponents like to call it, as people like to say, the trans movement. The trans movement is socially, we're just like you. We're humans, just like every other human in our society. We're Americans, just like every other American in our society. We have rights. We vote. We have joy. We have pain. We have every emotion every other American citizen has. We are you. You are us. Allies need to wrap us in their circle of in welcoming. We are being pushed to the out group of society by legal laws in many states, by social mores in other places, by hateful campaigns that are being launched across social media of all sorts. Being transgender in the United States should be celebrated. It should be a joyous thing. We should congratulate someone when they are able to express their inner identity. We should embrace that. All of us. We should make that an American way. As a kid, I was told most of my life The American way is that you can achieve your dreams. You can be anything you set your mind to. You can accomplish it here in America. There are no boundaries that can hold back an American citizen who is driven to strive to reach their dreams. That is what I'm told the American dream is. How can someone get close to their dreams if their inner self is stifled? If you cannot express who you are, how can you achieve your dreams? To be Americans, we should look to ourselves, inside ourselves, discover who that is, express that, and show everyone our strong characters. I believe being an American citizen gives me privilege and rights. And with those privileges and rights, I should be able to achieve anything I set my mind to in this country. That's not the case, or it's not the way people want the case to be. People are fighting hard in this country to erase us as citizens, erase us as humans in our society. To have the common decency to be able to use a restroom in public is in jeopardy in many states. To have the common decency to be addressed by your proper name and proper pronouns is in jeopardy because people don't understand us. Expressing who you are can lead you to harm in our society. And that is scary. And that should never be the case in America. You should never be fronted with harm and violence and prejudice because you want to express who you are. Existing is not a crime. Expressing yourself is not a crime. Yet, in 2023, there have been more than 500 bills written in these United States that address transgender people in some form. 500. Some of them are protection bills, but not all of them. Many are designed to harm us, to stifle our existence, to lessen us as citizens, to lower us onto platforms below other people in our country. This is not fair, and this is not the American way, although we try to keep proving that wrong time and time again. Transgender rights are human rights, just as civil rights of the 60s, 70s were also human rights. Just as Emancipation Proclamation that came about a century and a half ago was about human rights. Human rights are worth fighting for in these United States. My right to exist and to express myself is a human right. My rights as an American citizen should not diminish in any measurable amounts because I express who I am. But again, I'm fortunate. I live in a state that recognizes me for who I am. I was able to get federal documentations that recognize who I am, that recognize my gender. I am very fortunate to be where I am. Not everyone has that fortune. Because a trans person doesn't look the way you think they should look, does not mean you take their rights away. Trans people are people. The trans part of being transgender is transitioning your expression and your gender performance, not your identity. Your identity is discovered. You can discover your identity from within and express it and perform it. Or you can stifle it and not express it and not perform it. Wouldn't you want all of your loved ones to express who they are? Don't you want your children to express who they are? Don't you want the people around you in your society to express who they are? That's what it is to be a transgender person. It means you looked inside yourself, you discovered your gender identity, and you express it. The expression and the performance. That is the trans part, not the identity. The identity is within, it's discovered. That is immutable. Just as your handedness is immutable, it's discovered. It can be expressed or stifled. Same concept. Handedness within. Gender identity within. Either one can be expressed, and either one can be stifled. Why do you want to stifle either? Why would you want to stifle anyone's inner self? Isn't that what is important to us as a society? The inner self? We are an individualistic society. We value the self. We value bodily autonomy. We value personal rights. Why will we put brackets and margins around gender and say, no, we don't value that within? Of course we should value the inner self. Value that inner self. Value someone expressing their inner self. What it means to be trans, it means to express your inner gender identity.